This song's for the Democrats. Smile, though your heart is aching. Smile, even though it's breaking.
Hello, how are you? And thanks for choosing to hang out with your host, the Conservative Bird, and your co-host, me, Double D, and you're on the Brick Road Podcast.
Hey, welcome everybody. Thank you for stopping by and hanging out with us. We got a good one here today, actually, for you. We're going to start it off with some funny stuff. We got a video from Rob Schneider. I haven't watched this yet, and Double D hasn't watched this yet, but he made a video, a song for the Democrats. And if everybody knows Rob Schneider, they know that he's been on a tear right now, going on tour with Charlie Kirk to all these campuses, doing all these tours, schooling all these leftist liberals, and just letting them know how it really is. He seems to be one of the only voices in Hollywood that is actually saying something positive.
Let that clip roll, Bird.
This song's for the Democrats.
For the Democrats.
Smile, though your heart is aching. Smile, even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you get by, Oprah Winfrey. If you smile through your tears and sorrow, you fucking pussy, Jimmy Kimmel.
That was great.
I did not see that coming.
I did not see
that coming.
Hey, by the way, Bird, can I remind our audience to make sure they like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications?
Yes, you can. Make sure you guys do that.
Yes. Like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications so we can bring you more of this, because this is hilarious.
Freaking hilarious.
Let it roll, Bird. Let it roll.
You'll see the sun come shining through, except for you bitches on The View.
Oh, this is great.
Light up your face with gladness, Ben Stiller. Hide any trace of sadness, Bruce Springsteen.
It's funny, he's just calling out the libtards.
All of them, dude. He's not leaving anybody out.
And if anybody knows Bruce,
I love you, man.
Bruce
Schneider's the greatest, dude.
Bruce Springsteen was looking very pathetic there at the end of the 2024 season. By the way.
Oh yeah, he was. He was beat down, and De Niro too. De Niro's pretty well beat. I'm sure he's gonna diss De Niro. And
he's definitely gonna say something about
He's got to. Audience, I hope he disses De Niro, because you know as well as I do, De Niro's a douche canoe. Go on, let it roll.
When there are clouds in the sky, you get by. If you smile through your tears and sorrow, smile and maybe tomorrow you'll see the sun come shining through for you. Light up your face with gladness. Hide any trace of sadness. Although a tear may be ever so near.
You know, I want to say something. Rob Schneider is a lot better of a singer than I ever thought he would have been.
Well, Elle King is his daughter, dude, and she's an R&B country singer, and I do believe that piano player we're watching right there is hers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I saw Elle King 2 years ago at the Blossom.
Gotcha.
She got drunk. she got drunk and tried to pull her niece's tooth out on stage. It was a little bit of a weird thing, but you know what? I got to give it to her. She knows how to party, man.
That's funny.
That's the time You must keep on trying. Smile, what's the use of crying?
He has a real good voice, man.
You'll find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile. To Carol Saito on piano. Give me one.
Kid's a really good piano player.
Awesome.
The kid is a very good piano player. He looks young too.
Yeah, he is. He's young, dude. Wow,
It's not done yet. There's still 2 minutes left.
I know, but I'm just blown away, man.
Yeah.
I've never heard Rob Schneider sing before. This is my first time. I'm like, wow.
Yo, let us know down in the comments. Does Rob Schneider have any other songs that we don't know about? Because I've never heard it before.
I mean, his daughter's got pipes. I'll say that, but I mean, it's obvious where she got them.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow, he's good.
He's really good.
Let's do this for real. Here we go. That's beautiful.
That is beautiful. Wow.
Light up your face with gladness. Hide any trace of sadness. Although a tear may be ever so near, that's the time you must keep on trying. Smile, what's the use in crying? You'll find that life is still worthwhile.
Damn.
If you just smile.
Wow.
He let you guys know, Democrats, all you got to do is learn to smile. Stop being so miserable. Stop being so angry. Donald Trump's only your president for 4 years, not for the rest of your life. Just calm down a little bit, and smile a little.
Yeah, that was wow, man.
That was really good.
Wow. I'm trying to find out right now who that I know that song. I recognize it. It was in Goodfellas.
Okay. I mean, regardless, Rob Schneider did really, really good on that, you guys.
Wow, yeah, dude, he did incredibly well on that. It reminded me, who was that? It's not Frank Sinatra.
No.
Remember in the movie Goodfellas when they're watching the concert at the bar? It was whoever was singing. It was whoever was singing. That was the song he was singing. Remember when Henry and Karen were sitting in the bar?
Trying to think. It's been so long since I've seen Goodfellas.
I know. What's the name of that singer? It's oh my god. And he's the other famous singer from that time.
Was he part of? Well, they were part of the Rat Pack together, right?
I believe. Well, Sinatra, Dean Martin.
Yeah.
Was that Sammy Davis Jr.?
That wasn't
who was
Dean
the
Martin?
other one? It might be Dean. I thought it was the other. I'll think of his name.
That's all right.
I'll think of it. But man, wow!
Good
Not
job.
only was it incredibly hilarious with the name dropping,
added that extra touch to it.
Yeah, and so appropriate to, in describing the temperament and the mood of the
1000%.
Democratic Party right now. But wow, what an incredible voice. Rob Schneider, man, you really blew me away, dude. I'm like, wow, I am super impressed, man.
Yeah, me too.
I did not see that coming. That was a great choice, Bird. That was a good pick, brother.
Yep.
Good pick.
On to the next one, though. So now,
On to the next one.
now we have. Here's my thing, right? I don't understand why this even needs to be a bill, right? Why this even needs to be anything. Should just be common sense, right? So now we got it to where Donald Trump finally has the backing of the Supreme Court to not allow transgenders in the military, right? Number one, they're taking advantage of our military by getting free transition surgeries, and they don't care if they get dishonorably discharged. It doesn't matter to them. Number two, just because Obama said it was all right, that doesn't mean that they're not mentally ill, right? They do not belong in the military. That is not right. It is not a smart thing for our country to put people that do not even know what gender they are on the front lines of this country to serve and protect us. It makes absolute zero sense to me.
And not only that, but they're also going through medical changes that don't let them be very good soldiers. Now, if the transgender military crowd could prove that they really are battle worthy while going through estrogen treatments or testosterone treatments, depending on which side they're switching to.
Right.
The physical challenges of the surgeries, the physical challenges of the hormones.
Yeah.
That's not battle ready.
Listen,
you cannot have all that hanging over you and then think you're going to go into battle.
If they're already don't know what gender they are, they're already in a battle in their own mind. They don't need to be in another battle. They need to finish that battle first.
Absolutely, and the military is just not the place for
no.
How do I put this, for social experimentation?
Exactly.
Sorry, Dems, I absolutely disagree with the Democrats on this one because, well, I always disagree with the Democrats, but this one in particular, because, dude, it's like they don't make good soldiers when they're caught up with
they're just using us.
Not only are they making themselves sick on the outside,
yeah,
they're already sick up here too.
Without a doubt.
Honestly, I mean, soldiers go crazy enough when they're at war and with the situations and the pressures that they have to go through. I have 3 uncles who came back. You know, I have a grandfather came back. Both my grandfathers were in World War II, by the way. I know I've told you my father was in Korea. You know, my Uncle Jim and my Uncle Don were both in Vietnam.
Okay.
All right. And, you know, those, my father would tell you prison stories before he would talk about Korea.
Yeah.
He was just a medic. He was nothing more than a medic.
That's because I bet you he's seen a lot of crazy shit being the medic.
Dude,
he got to see the blunt. He got to see the blunt end of things. You know, whether it could be like a soldier that got killed, he still had to see that to let them know, like, hey, he's dead. You know what I mean? So it's like a soldier could not even see what happened to himself, where your father had to see all that stuff.
Yeah, he had to witness it firsthand. Then he had to write off on it, whether they were dead, alive, salvageable, or not.
Right.
And it's a shame they had to make those kind of decisions. You know, he did a few bits in prison, so like, you know, and he would talk about the prison stories all the time, man. But when you mentioned Korea, the only thing he ever talked about was watching. The only thing he ever talked about was one of his friends from boot camp came back with his head on his chest and his dog tag necklace around his neck, but the head was placed on his chest with the helmet next to it and his rifle lying beside him. You know, it's like,
it's wild.
I've never seen what a decapitated body looks like, and thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, I never will, hopefully. But that has got to be traumatic. And to think that he actually chose to go back to prison to get out of that is, you know,
wild. That's wild.
So I just don't think somebody going through those mental changes are going to be able to handle stuff like that. Even from the, you know, least battle-worthy form of it. I mean, dude, that screwed him up for the rest of his life. Yeah. And if you're already screwed up going in, it ain't getting better. I'm going to tell you that right now. It's not going to get better.
No.
But anyway, I digress. I don't want to beat that dead horse too long.
Yeah, no, let's get into this. So what we were talking about is just basically the Supreme Court finally decided to side with Trump on this one.
Looks like the Supreme Court is allowing President Trump to implement his ban on transgender people serving in the military,
Yes.
at least for now. The High Court lifting a lower court injunction blocking the policy while litigation continues. Our senior Washington correspondent, Devin Dwyer, joins me now. All right, Devin, what do we know?
The Supreme Court, Kira, is letting the policy go forward in a didivided vote.
Rightfully
6-3.
so. Listen, rightfully so. 6-3. It should honestly be 9-0 because
Yes, I would think, because it's common sense.
right. This is so like it's like the Did you see all the thing with all the Democrats voted in California, I believe, to.
Yeah, I can't believe they did that. They voted.
Is it
against-
human traffickers?
They voted against the human
Sex
making it a
traffickers.
felony. Yeah, making sex trafficking of minors
A felony.
They voted against.
You vote against these things? How? This is why we say that the Democrats are against America. They are not for us.
Democrats are not only against America; they're against God. They're against anything that stands for anything good.
They work for Satan.
I don't know what's happening to them. I don't understand why. I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense. My whole family were Democrats. I never would have looked at them and thought that they were ungodly in such a way.
My mom voted Democrat her whole life until Donald Trump.
Yeah, and
my dad never voted before until 2024, and he voted for Trump.
Yes, he did. I was there with you guys. That was awesome, by the way. Way to go, Jeff. Thank you for joining the Red Trump train, my brother. We love having you aboard.
Oh yeah.
I don't get it, man. You're right. It should be 9-0. I don't understand why they vote against the interest of humanity. It makes no sense.
Common sense just isn't so common anymore. That's what it is.
I don't think so. But is it common sense or is it just pure evil? Like, is it a lack of common sense or is it an enhancement and an embracement of pure ungodly evil?
Well, let us know down in the comments. Is it evil?
I don't know if you've ever watched,
or is it common sense?
Have you ever watched Devin Gibson? Have you ever seen his show?
Yes.
He addresses that so often. It's like, yes, brother, preach it, because it doesn't make sense. It's the only thing that makes sense is that they have adapted the lifestyle and the rules of Sodom and Gomorrah, and life is no longer valuable, unfortunately, in the Democratic Party. And it's really sad.
Very true.
That's why Democrats are leaving. And John Fetterman, he's going to be the next one that red pills. John, you are on the wrong side, Senator Fetterman. It's time for you to come over to where you belong, come to your new home, and start wearing the red hoodie instead.
Yep.
Liberal justices indicated they would dissent from this move. The Trump administration had asked the High Court to lift a block on the policy that was issued by a judge out in Washington state. That judge, appointed by George W. Bush, said that this policy was discriminatory, unfairly exclusionary, and unsupported by the evidence. He said it would likely be struck down, but the Supreme Court now reversing course. What this means, Kira, is that the Trump administration...
Shout out to Clarence Thomas.
Can now begin to discharge transgender service members who have served their country for the last 4 years in the United States military. There are about 4,200 active duty troops who are trans, according to the Pentagon figures.
Who is that?
Many of those have served in combat. Many have been awarded. A group of 7 of those trans service members sued to challenge this policy. But today, at least temporarily, the Supreme Court has turned away their appeals.
I used to like her.
So what happens now?
Those discharges can begin. The litigation, however, Kira, does continue. It's in the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals out in California. That means ultimately the Supreme Court could actually take up this case on the merits. But what the court is signaling today is that the President of the United States is owed broad deference over how the military is run and who they can allow into the military. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has argued that transgender service members pose a problem for unit cohesion and military readiness.
I absolutely agree with that.
I 1,000% agree.
Today, again, with this Supreme Court decision, the administration can move forward with the same policy it had back in the first term, removing those service members, around 4,000 of them, though the Biden administration allowed them to serve. So a dramatic change and a real setback for those who did serve and those who have sacrificed for their country here.
We know Biden let him serve. Because Biden doesn't care about America. None of the Democrats care about America.
Here's what I want to see. They keep talking about, even though the evidence suggests otherwise. He must have said that like 2 or 3 times in there.
Yeah.
I want to see the otherwise evidence that suggests that they did make very good soldiers, that their surgeries and their psychology appointments and their hormones didn't affect their production and productivity out in the field.
Right.
I want to see the proof of that. How about that? Instead of saying that we need evidence to prove that it's not, how about they show us evidence that it actually doesn't make a difference? I bet they can't.
They can't.
They can't show
No,
the
they
evidence.
can't.
So rather than come up with it, they turn it around and put it on us.
You want to know
what?
You want to know why? Because they want to do all these experiments, but they don't want to do the proper research to see if it's actually doing any good or if it's harming us as a country. See, this is very harmful. You do not give mentally ill people guns and put them on the front line to serve for your country. You don't do it.
Well, they're never making it to the front line. I'm telling you, I guarantee you not a single one of those transgenders has made it to the front line. And Rachel Levine is the closest they ever got. And we all know that was a DEI hire. And truth be told, he looked like a dude wearing a wig and a dress. It's like, sorry, dude, you don't look like a girl. You just look like an old hippie.
Very true.
All. An old hippies just happen to look really effeminate.
Right.
That's it. But they're still butt ugly chicks. They don't make good looking women. They make fine looking hippies. Rachel Levine should have been hitting the bong.
That's great.
Not hitting the field. Sorry.
Right.
And she wasn't, or he wasn't, or whatever the hell it is.
Who knows?
He wants me to call him a her or
She,
whatever.
her. We'll call it she, her.
Yeah, she-ra.
So,
I don't care. Fuck them.
What was this next thing you sent me about?
What's this?
This is with Homeland Security.
Oh, that's an old one. I don't know how that ended up in there.
No, this is the Canadian Prime Minister.
No, this is about Carney. This is about Canadian Prime Minister Carney. Yeah, he met with Donald Trump, I guess, earlier today or yesterday.
Okay.
And basically, this is what Donald Trump wants him to do.
All right.
He wants you know what I mean. He's got a letter from the Nashville mayor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Basically asking the Department of Homeland Security. Now it says, yeah, they arrested a convicted child predator, a member of Tren de Aragua, an individual convicted of aggravated assault, multiple aliens with drug charges, and the Nashville mayor thinks that these should be illegal aliens off of it. So that's what we're asking the Canadians to do. Stop letting that crap come across our border from the north.
Right.
We're dealing with enough of it in the south.
Right.
We don't need our neighbors up north complaining about, because we don't see the world the way they do.
Right.
Well, you know what? The one thing we do agree on is they don't want criminals in their country.
Yeah, we don't want them in ours either.
We want them in ours.
Exactly.
So, Carney, do the right thing, Mark Carney, and do your part, and we'll take the tariffs off. Otherwise, I say charge them bastards 145 like the Chinese.
Hey, give them 200, whatever it is.
200, whatever it takes. Do your job or get out of the frickin' game. Either way, get out of our way, Canada. Either way.
Prime Minister from Canada, Mark Carney, now speaking. Let's listen in.
We can get a better deal for our workers. We can create more opportunities for our businesses. We can build stronger economies across North America when we work together. And really today marked the end of the beginning of a process of the United States and Canada redefining that relationship of working together. The question is how we will cooperate in the future. How we can build an economic and security relationship built on mutual respect, built on common interests, and that delivers transformational benefits to our economies.
Okay, so here's where
he forgot to mention was mutual trust.
Right. Here's where the mutual respect is supposed to come into place, right? Mutual respect is you don't tariff me, I don't tariff you. You don't allow drugs to flood over into our borders, we don't allow them to flood into your borders.
The Canadians don't allow it. They stop them at the border, dude.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. But they're cool with it coming into our borders. They don't give a shit.
Oh, yeah. They love being part of that.
Yeah, they don't care.
We have been the world's trash can for a little too long right now.
Not no more.
And we're taking out the trash, whether they like it or not. And that trash is going to El Salvador. We're back to Canada.
We had what I would describe as wide-ranging and, as I said a moment ago, very constructive discussions. We agreed to have further conversations in the coming weeks, and we are looking forward to meeting in person at the G7 summit in Kananaskis in Alberta. Now, while that's going on, in Canada, we will focus on what we can control. Alors, demain, je réunirai avec les premiers ministres pour
he's going to talk French now,
faire
but
point.
I think we got what we need from him. We got what we need from him. It sounds to me like he's bobbing and weaving, brother. I think he's full of it.
Me too.
I don't think he's telling the truth. When he started speaking French, he was already telling his Quebecians that he was basically telling. Honestly, I don't understand French. I don't speak French. But
either.
The tone of his voice, it just didn't sound like there was anything positive coming out of it. But anybody who speaks French, if you guys want to go ahead and tell us down in the comments below what he was saying, because so far I think the man's full of it.
Yeah.
He doesn't. Only thing he wants from America is the status quo that they've had.
Hey,
and I say until they stop the fentanyl, stop the Tren de Araguas, stop the MS-13s, stop all that coming across our border, and stop throwing your trash across our border, and we can start talking. Otherwise, I think we tariff the shit out of them.
Yep, I'm putting 200 on him if I'm Trump. Speaking of Trump, we got a clip here of him. So I guess people were getting upset about all these AI images. You know, it's funny because you know the Star Wars one that I sent you of Trump?
Yeah, that was hilarious. I loved it.
You want to know why I seen that so much? All my liberal friends on Facebook are crying about it.
Why?
I don't know.
Is that the one with the red lightsaber?
Yeah, but they're not crying about it for that. They're crying about it for the caption underneath it.
I forgot what it said.
Oh, it just said, all you radical lunatic leftist liberals and blah, blah, blah. Maybe one day all you idiotic idiots we can all get together. May the fourth be with you. And he just ended it right there. It was great.
Hey, I love it. I love it. So anyway, this one here, he looks like the Pope. Somebody put an AI picture up.
So how come it was all right for Joe Biden to the whole Dark Brandon meme, he took it as his thing, and that's okay, but Trump can't take in a thing if somebody posted him as the Pope and he repost it. It doesn't make any sense to me. Here, let me show you guys.
We're not so happy about the image of you looking like the Pope.
Oh, I see. You mean they can't take a joke? You don't mean the Catholics. You mean the fake news media.
Yeah.
Not the Catholics.
I love it.
Loved it. I had nothing to do with it. Somebody made up a picture of me dressed like the Pope, and they put it out on the internet. That's not me that did it. I have no idea where it came from. Maybe it was AI. But
you want to know what's funny? I didn't even watch this clip yet, and I didn't even know he was going to say that, and I said the same exact thing. It's like a common sense factor that people do not have. It's the internet. People are going to make memes about you if you are a famous person, especially if you're the president of a country. Dude, look at all the memes they made of fucking J.D. Vance.
Right, but especially when you're one of the most popular presidents in the 21st century.
Right.
I mean, right now, Donald Trump's the most, whether they like it or not, and I know the lamestream legacy media keeps saying his approval ratings are going down. Dude, every president in their second term is at 43 to 45%.
If you ask 100 Democrats, 100 of them are going to tell you that they hate him.
Yeah, they're going to tell you he's doing a horrible job.
Exactly.
But they won't be able to tell you anything that, wrong that he's done, nor will they be able to tell you anything that the Democrats have done right. It's just, they're unbelievable hypocrites.
Exactly.
Honestly, I don't care if I ever talk to another Democratic member of my family ever again. I could care less. They can move on. That's the way I feel about it. They're on the wrong side of history, and they're definitely on the wrong side of America. But anyway, let's get back to the Pope.
I know nothing about it. I just saw it last evening. Actually, my wife thought it was cute. She said it's really nice.
My question about
Actually, I would not be able to be married, though. That would be a lot. I'd have to the best of my knowledge, popes aren't big on getting married, are they? Not that we know. No, I think it's the fake news media that, they're fakers.
They're fakers.
Absolutely.
So hold on.
Do you have a picture of it by any chance?
I'm gonna look it up right now. I'll guarantee I can find it.
Yeah, find Pope.
So just so you guys know,
picture.
this is the picture
There it
that
is,
they're
right
talking
there.
about.
Yeah, I love it, man. It's fucking awesome. Look at that. AI image criticized.
This is
So
the
what?
picture
So
that everybody's talking.
hilarious.
This is the picture that the
Yeah.
liberal media is crying about. You guys,
Dude, they're
do you see what
losing
we're
their
talking
freaking
about, though?
shit over it,
do you
dude.
guys see what we're talking about, though? This is beyond ridiculous. Nobody cares about memes. Nobody cares.
They didn't seem all that upset when they put out that meme video of Donald Trump eating all the McDonald's with his stomach hanging out and food all over him.
People are
that was okay. That was okay. And all of a sudden, Democrats are religious?
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
these are the same people that are saying it's okay for your 13-year-old son to cut off his balls.
Yeah.
These are not people
These are
who
the same
religious.
people that think just because of babies in their stomach that they're not real babies.
Right. Oh, dude, there's a guy out there right now preaching we should be able to kill babies up to 2 years of age.
These people are
Think about that.
These people are sick and pathetic.
Because they're not in the thought process.
Well,
therefore, they're not
it
real
makes
humans.
sense why Democrats in California voted for it, because they don't care about kids anyway.
I mean, technically, if you think about it, Democrats are kind of empty brains. So shouldn't that give people the right to just toss them aside and abort them, no matter what age they are? Can we abort Democrats at 21?
Right? Geez, dude, what is wrong with these people?
If it's okay to abort them at 2 years of age,
right?
Why can't we abort them at any age? Then?
Exactly. It makes sense.
So
here we got JD Vance
demonstrating the absurd with absurd.
Yeah, definitely, without a doubt. Yeah, it's like showing. It's kind of like showing it to him from our perspective.
Yeah, I'm just I don't get it. Anyway,
it doesn't make
let's
sense.
get back to Ilhan Omar because by the way, I have a name for her.
Okay, what's her new name?
It's more of a term.
Okay.
You've heard the term hillbilly, of course, right? We've all heard that.
Okay.
Now, with that said, this is not about hillbillies. This is taking a stereotypical belief about Appalachians or
okay. So hold on, just so everybody knows, Ilhan Omar married her brother so he can get citizenship.
Brother, right?
All right.
So,
it's pathetic. It's sad, and it's incest.
And it's incest. So we're taking the stereotypical term, which I don't believe is a good term to use, but it is still funny. So she is now the Somali-billy.
Yeah. Okay. I like it. The Somali-billy.
Somalian and hillbilly. She is our favorite Somali-billy.
If this was a white person, they would be
married her
shunned.
brother.
If this was a white person that did this, guarantee they'd be shunned, kicked out of Congress, and thrown in jail if they did any type of fraud like that. If this was a white person,
dude.
but because
Absolutely.
it's a POC, we'll give her a pass, I guess.
But it's first of all, she broke the law.
Right.
She to bring her brother to this country, and she broke two laws.
Exactly.
One, you're not allowed to marry your brother, and number two, you're definitely not allowed to marry somebody simply to bring them into the country. There's a process that goes with that, and she broke that process too. That makes her a criminal.
And what is this? JD Vance calls her out, right?
Yes, JD Vance calls her out.
I like it.
Now she made what we're about to hear. She said 6 years ago in 2018, but this is her past catching up to her today.
Okay.
I would say our country should be more fearful of white men across our country, because they are actually causing most of the deaths within this country. We should be profiling, monitoring, and
By the way, everybody, I want you to go look up the statistics of that and then get back to me.
creating policies to fight the radicalization of white men.
All right, JD, let her have it.
I just love that it says Vice President JD Vance.
Yes, that's right.
Vance blast follow 2018 where the Democrats discussed the fear of white men in the U.S. What does that mean?
It was basically just hate mongering and fear mongering. Ilhan Omar is a racist asshole. She doesn't belong in Congress. She belongs in prison.
She belongs. Let's just deport her. I'll send her back to Ethiopia. I'll pay for her ticket to go back myself.
Yeah, she needs to resign right away.
Okay, so Vance took to social media platform X to blast Omar's comments, calling her a disgrace for her genocidal rhetoric.
Absolutely, that's exactly what it was. I think that was the point of it, but no, here you go, right here, yeah.
This isn't just sick, it's actually genocidal language. What a disgrace this person is. I mean, listen, this is common sense. All he is doing is saying common sense. She is literally a despicable individual.
She's a despicable individual who was trying to demonize an entire race of males in this country while 6 years later or 2 years later asking for their vote. Well, if you're a white man in America or in Minnesota and you're willing to vote for Ilhan Omar, cut your balls off now and give up your man card, because that bitch does not represent you. She doesn't represent any American. Nope. She is as anti-American as they come. She belongs in prison, not in Congress.
It doesn't make sense. The vice president's remarks have been met with praise online, many welcoming his calls out of Omar.
That's right.
This is one of the few times I've seen a Republican not named Donald Trump actually call a woke Democrat out in a strong, direct language.
Yeah, pause that for a second.
Yeah,
that is absolutely true. That is the first time. Finally, we're fighting back, man.
Yeah.
It's like we've been told. Yeah, I don't understand it, dude. They hate us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They make it very clear. They make it obvious that they don't like us.
Exactly.
See, it's not even a racial thing.
No.
It's not.
No.
Because they're not talking about white male Democrats who act like little ladies. They're not talking about the Tim Waltzes, the meatballs of the world like Tim Waltz, Tampon Timmy. All right. They're talking about real white men who are men, who don't want to cut off their testicles, who don't, and we're definitely not going to vote for the Democratic Party. And the rest of our lives, we will never, ever give another vote for the Democrat Party. What the Democrat Party stands for is not only is it anti-white, but it's also anti-male, and it's also anti-black male, and it's anti-Hispanic male, and it's anti-Asian male. It's anti-any male that wants to keep their balls.
Let's give it a broader thing. It's anti-American. It's all anti-American. There's nothing American about the Democratic Party. And I'm not even saying, listen, I'm not even willing to vote for just any Republican, just so you guys know. I'm not voting for just any Republican. There's a lot of Republicans I won't vote for. I would never vote for Ted Cruz. There's a lot of Republicans I would never vote for. I would never vote for Mike McCarthy.
I actually like Ted Cruz, but
I'm personally, I'm not a fan of him.
And I understand it because he's very crass.
Well, no. The thing that lost me with him was when Texas froze over and he decided to. It's one thing to send your wife and kids over to Mexico to get away from that, but when you're a congressman, you stand in the trenches with your constituents.
Oh, I absolutely agree with you on that, Bert. And I believe that's what cost him being president someday.
Yeah,
he'll never be president of the United States because of that mistake.
Yeah, he knows, and he knew he made a mistake, and I'm glad he at least
knows it too.
I'm glad he at least went back, but he should have never left in the first place.
I mean, honestly, he would probably be where Marco Rubio is right now. I mean, Alan Dershowitz said that Ted Cruz was the smartest law student he ever taught. But
I could see that.
But he made one of the dumbest mistakes.
Yeah, definitely.
And that was a no-brainer. Stay home.
Yeah, it's not hard.
Your state is frozen.
Right.
You stay there and you ride it out with your constituency. He fucked up when he didn't do that. Yep. And I agree with you on that, Bird. And because of that, he'll never be president, which you'll never hear me say Ted Cruz for president. Not again. Yep. I used to say it in 2016, but you're not going to hear me say it today. I will say J.D. Vance president 2028.
Hey,
I'm
and
good
listen,
with that.
I'm still not
Or
mad.
he-
I'm still not mad at DeSantis either. I wouldn't
No,
mind
I'm not mad.
DeSantis.
No, Ron.
Ryan.
But he better pick up his game if
I
he's going
don't-
against JD, though.
Yeah, I don't want to see him embrace the Bushes, though, like he says.
No. Well, I mean, I can understand from Ron DeSantis' point because all the Bushes live in his state.
Yeah. Well,
He kind of doesn't. He kind of really doesn't have a choice, but you know, he has to be diplomatic with them.
Yep.
But honestly, he has nothing in common with them whatsoever. They
nothing.
are, dude. The Bushes of the early 2000s and the 1990s, they are day and night to the MAGA movement. They're not even part of the MAGA movement. I'm not. And look, and you know, and I'm a huge fan of of Senior, of George Senior. He is one of my faves too. But the truth be told, I mean, we live in a different time, and the Bush politics would not cut it today.
No, not at all. Not one bit. So is this basically just them talking about this?
That's basically, I think it just says it right there. It just says it right there. So
I just don't understand why she's still in Congress. This is the thing that's like the biggest brain buster to me. Why are people like her in Congress, or why are people like AOC allowed to say all these disgraceful things about white people? Then she has the audacity to go date a white dude.
Well, AOC, you don't really. I can't believe I'm doing this. Oh my God! Please, audience, don't hate me for this. AOC has kind of toned down the race rhetoric.
Yeah.
If anything, she's been getting attacked because of Israel and her stance on Israel and her alignment with Bernie Sanders.
Bernie Sanders.
I think Fetterman. Like I said, Fetterman's going to leave the party at some point because he just doesn't belong.
Dude, how funny was
it
when he trolled all those Palestine protesters and put an Israel flag in his window?
Dude.
I always died. It's like, dude, where did this come from, bro? Like, where's this Fetterman been at? I might have voted for him if I was in Pennsylvania if I would have done like this.
Now, with that said, if there are any Democrats watching this, just remember AOC 5-6 years ago was screaming the same rhetoric that Ilhan Omar and Jasmine Crockett and what's that other, Cory Bush and all these other ones have been spewing all this hateful rhetoric. AOC has distanced herself from it, but her past will catch up with her too. Right now, her and Bernie are leading the Democratic Party, but the one thing I've not heard anybody say is that she's going to be the next Democratic nomination.
No, she's not. I heard that they're trying to actually run with, what's her name again? Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris, yeah.
J.D. Vance will smoke her, dude.
Oh, dude, oh
Vance
my God.
will smoke her.
Dude, it would be a huge embarrassment for Kamala, and I don't think there's enough vodka on the planet to make her comfortable enough to come up against JD Vance.
Dude, she'll be she'll get torn apart.
I'm so happy JD's calling out Omar. I'm so glad he's calling out the members of the squad, and it's long overdue.
Yes.
It was long overdue. I think is that all we have on that? That was everything that we got, right?
Yeah, that was everything for today.
Wow, look at that. Wow. Okay, then.
Hey, we could call it. We could call it a show. That's a show, everybody.
Well, let's give our final statement. You go ahead and go first. What's your take on it today, there, Bert?
So, I love the Rob Schneider song. Freaking great.
That was great.
I love how Trump handles these idiotic questions that shouldn't even be thrown to him. Who cares about an AI picture of him as the Pope or him as a Jedi Master on the 4th, or him wearing a sombrero on Cinco de Mayo? Who cares? As long as he's doing what's right for the country, that is what matters. The fact that the liberal media is asking him these questions is freaking asinine. It makes zero sense to me. Transgenders do not belong in the military. They never belonged in the military. They belong in mental facilities. Right?
or at least in a or at least in an environment that would be conducive to their to nurturing their mental health, nurturing their physical health. And the military's not that place.
Not
it's
it
just
at all.
Not.
It's not.
That's not the place for that.
It's not.
You know what I mean? There is no reason a soldier who is getting a surgery for his changing his sex should have the same rights as a soldier who just had his leg blown off by the enemy. And I'm sorry.
Yeah.
George Patton slapped a soldier for being a coward.
The tariffs are going to work. The tariffs are going to work. Canada's going to cave.
They are definitely going to cave.
Mexico's going to cave.
Absolutely.
China's collapsing if they don't cave.
I hope China does collapse, I'll be honest with you.
We're going to win this in the long run.
I hate communists, and I certainly hate the Chinese Communist Party for what they stand for. They have good people in China, but their government sucks.
Right. And I love that J.D. Vance stood up to Ilhan Omar and let her know how the cow ate the cabbage.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
That was good.
Hey, I'm glad he called her back out again, because I bet they were I know the Democrats and the squad were hoping that sleeping dog was going to lie.
Yep.
And he woke it back up. He slapped that dog on the ass and said, "Get up. We've got things and work to do today."
Exactly. So hey, we got it. All right. So on that note, I think we're going to end it. I really appreciate you guys all stopping by. I appreciate Double D. I appreciate my family. I appreciate God for giving me this opportunity and allowing me to wake up every day and be blessed to create content for you guys. And let's see what Double D has to say.
Well, as always, audience, you're the reason why we're here. So thank you very much. Bird, I couldn't do any of this without you, my friend.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I love being here with you every week. And as always, I want to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And with all that, good night, y'all.
Yep, we love you guys. Thank you guys. Have a good one from the Brick Road Podcast. Peace.